What's going on, guys? It's Diostone here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I did this very professional style mock-up of The Simpsons airing on Adult Swim, even though there's no recorded instance of The Simpsons ever airing on Adult Swim. Now, I expected this video to get a little more traction. I didn't think it was going to go super viral or anything, but I thought maybe it'd get like at least a couple thousand views, but it only just barely got above 500. So I figure I might as well show how I made it since it's been almost a year since I posted it. Now, this isn't really meant to be a tutorial on how you can make your own mock-ups of TV shows airing on networks they're not supposed to. This is more just to show how I did it, because I did have one person asking me if this was real or fake, so I guess I did fool one person. So all you're gonna need is just some source video. I'm not going to be using any TV show clips just because of copyright reasons, and I did get copyright claimed in my last video. So I'm just going to be using some Roblox footage from a previous video. Now, the first thing I do to get the position of the parental rating is I just use this Family Guy clip, and then I just overlay the TVMA rating over it. It doesn't have to be TVMA, obviously, that's just the one I'm using for this example. Here I'm just playing around with the opacity settings to make it look as authentic as possible, because if you know, on television, the rating system usually has a bit of a dissolve effect to it. The next thing I do is I add the closed captioning symbol, and Cartoon Network and Adult Swim use the same symbol, so I just used one from a Cartoon Network template. This one was a bit of an overlay with a background, so I just used a key effect to remove it, and then I played around with the other settings. And then I just added a bit of a timing window between the parental rating and the closed captioning, because on Adult Swim it will show the rating first and then show the closed captioning. Then for the screen bug or the watermark logo, I basically just lined it up to a screen grab and then played around with the opacity and color correction settings until it looked like something you would find from a TV recording. And then just like that, I have a video clip with a TVMA rating, a closed captioning, and an Adult Swim logo. The next thing I do is I add a disclaimer bumper. Adult Swim usually shows these before they air a show or as soon as they sign on. And the thing you want to remember is that Adult Swim often will do bumpers with seasons. So, for example, if it's winter time, they'll do winter bumpers, or they'll do spring bumpers. So that's what I did with the Simpsons video. That's why if you go back and watch it, a lot of the bumpers look like something you would see during the winter time, and I wanted to keep that consistent. I'm also adding in 1 second of black screen because that's often something you'll see on TV before and after commercial breaks. Now, to simulate a commercial break, I basically just do a hard cut on the video and then remove the logo from 1 second before the clip ends. If you're using a TV show, it'll often have spots where you can tell where the commercial break is supposed to go. But in this instance, I just cut the video so I can simulate a commercial break, and then I just added a bumper. I didn't add any commercials in between because it would take too long for me to find commercial videos, so I just decided to just have the bumper play out like normal. Then comes the part that was actually the most challenging, was trying to align the TVMA rating with a smaller version that you would often see from returning from a commercial break. I didn't have anything to go off of. I thought the promos and the returning disclaimer were the same size, but they actually weren't. They were actually different. So I ended up just using a random clip that actually had the right size. And then here I'm lining it up and then doing the timing to make it look like it's returning from a commercial break. And then here's the part that's going to be even more annoying. Basically, I export the video from Adobe as a 480p video. Now, you may be asking, well, why are you doing 480p? Don't you want to do 1080p? Well, I'm going to get into that in a second. After I'm done exporting the video, I basically take that 480p rendering and then I copy it over to my SD card so I can get into the next step. After we render that video to the SD card, what we do is we take the SD card and then insert it into a Nintendo Wii. And then after that, the video from the Nintendo Wii goes out and into the line in on this Panasonic VCR. Essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking that video and taping it onto a physical VHS cassette tape. In Lamam's terms, we're going to be taking that high quality recording, then we're going to be taping it onto a VHS tape, then we're going to be taking that recording from the VHS tape that's been scuffed up, and we're going to export it back to the computer. Now I opted to use a blank tape for this project. It's not necessary, and I have used this tape before for other videos, such as my original project. If you want, you can experiment around with pre-recorded movie tapes and then just taping over the tab to record over it. So after you've inserted your tape into your VCR, we can move on to the next step. And then on the Nintendo Wii, I'm going to be using an application called WiiMC, or Wii Media Player. You don't need to use a Nintendo Wii for this. I just used it because it was a device I had that could output into composite video. You could just use an HDMI to AV converter, but I just used this because it was just easier. Now these are just videos that I also put on VHS tapes, including the original Simpsons on Adult Swim video. So all I gotta do is just hit record on the VCR and then play the video. After I'm done recording, I just hit stop to stop the recording, and then just hit play on the tape, rewind it, and then just re-record it through OBS. So that's how I got the VHS effect on the video. I actually did record it onto a real tape. The reason why I chose to do this is because a lot of plugins and effects didn't look the way I wanted them to. It just didn't look authentic enough. It just made it look kind of cheesy. Like the Red Giant Universe effect that looks way too obviously fake, and there's another one called AVI Synth. That one was a little too complicated and just didn't look the way I wanted it to, so that's why I chose to do this method. Anyway, thanks for watching, and this is how I did my mock-up. I don't know if I'm going to post more videos soon. If you want to keep up with me, you can subscribe to my main channel, check out my social medias. This is just my side channel where I just post random memes and stuff that doesn't belong on my main channel. And I'll see you guys later.